Capricorn, you have a really amazing reading. It's very interesting. It's very rooted in some conflict of the past. So for single Capricorns who aren't in a relationship, who are maybe looking, if you're just not doing anything, this is, I think, very insightful. And I think it tells a lot about your past relationship and where you're heading. And there are some good times coming in June for sure. So stick around for the reading. I already did it. And, you know, like the video. If it resonates, leave me a comment. If you have some feedback. And by all means, subscribe if you want to hear more. Many more things coming out this month and into June. So with that, let's get right to it and talk about your reading, Capricorn. Tips, love, all that kind of good stuff. What's going on with you, Capricorn? Let's see. I don't know. I kind of everything is just kind of weird. Everything is just kind of off a little bit than normally. But we're gonna see what you got, and you know, let's talk about it. We'll dig into it. Just give me a minute to finish up with the cards here. Okay, so what is on your mind? And we have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles on your mind. Let's see what we get here. What's on your heart? What are you feeling? Eight of Swords. Look at that. 8-8. Alright. So, the Eight of Pentacles is what's on your mind. Oop. Look at this, keeps coming out. Here is the recent past. Five of Wands. This has come out in Taurus and Virgo as recent past. Interesting. Of course, being single, quite often you get there with some kind of ending, and usually that involves conflict. And let's see, your near future, Ace of Swords. I feel like this is learning the truth about something or someone and how it makes you feel. Also, how it changes you. But let's see what the what are you most worried about? What's you know, what are your fears in all this? What are you thinking about? What are you worried about? The Tower. Look at that. All right. So I'm gonna just put this like this here. The Tower. All right. So Capricorn. Interesting. All right. So your recent past conflict. Oh, and Four of Pentacles on the bottom of this deck. And we'll probably talk about that. But recent past conflict, you know, that brings you to this place of being single. What is that past conflict about? You know, is it recent past, or is this a long-standing period of being single? I don't know. Let's see where you're at. Seven of Wands. This is you coming out on top in whatever disagreement or whatever conflict went on. This is you winning the argument, so to speak. This is you beating down the person, not physically, but like putting them in their place and telling them how it is, and then just you know, see ya. Probably wasn't for you, whatever happened. Let's see what else we get. We'll pull one more for that. And the Magician. So that to me was going to come out in the reverse. I don't always read reversals in these types of readings, but I'm going to in this. And I think this chaos and conflict and disruption that occurred where you come out on top, I think this is the Magician. I'm actually going to turn it upside down for you. But anyway, so this was going to come out in the reverse. And so I think this represents somebody's trying to fool you, trying to trick you, maybe trying to convince you that you're crazy and that whatever it is you're saying is just all not grounded in truth and reality, and how, you know, whatever it is they say to try and deflect attention from whatever it was that led you into this situation. You know, so I think that's where you're at, and I kind of feel like you've been like this, kind of single for a while, and I think you're probably most worried about, now the Tower comes out, and the Tower isn't really a bad thing. A Tower is cleaning house. It's getting rid of crap that we don't need because we don't want to continue to take it with us. So I think if this Tower is more than just your worry, if it's something you sense is coming, or it's something that you know, you're afraid that you can't handle the long-term energy of being single, that it might be too heavy for you. But I think this is more about just being willing to do away with what you can't take with you. And I think it's this stuff, not letting it creep into where you're going from here, and just doing away with it. We have the Eight of Pentacles here for what you're thinking, and this is, I think, representative of an internal change, representative of kind of morphing, maybe a bit of a chameleon to your environment, your circumstances. But this doesn't come without wisdom. This isn't just being a chameleon and being a copy. This is really morphing with it, and changing with what's going on in your environment, in your world. This is a willing to change. This is a desire to change. And to me, this is you really thinking about that change coming full circle in your life. And so I think there's a lot of focus on yourself right now. And you do have the Eight of Swords here, though, and this represents what you're feeling. You know, you might be feeling like you are not at your best when you're alone, or you're afraid to be alone, or you don't want to be alone long term. And so this might give you some anxiety. But we're gonna dig a little deeper and see what happens here with the Eight of Pentacles. First, you have the Wheel of Fortune. This came out with Virgo, Capricorn. This is something that you're thinking about. You want a new start. You just want something to happen to just change up your environment. And so that's really what you're thinking about, and that's what's on your mind. And let's talk about what you're feeling here for a minute. This Eight of Swords, kind of heavy, but I feel like this Eight of Swords is really, you know, a decision. It's not something that you are directly, this isn't something, a place you directly have to be. I think it just might be a struggle for you sometimes. This is a very hard time for so many people. Isolation and distancing and all this stuff with current events is just really hard for everybody. So I think that might be a part of that. But you have the Ten of Swords. So this is really heavy. I think you might be battling some depression, some anxiety. You might be thinking too much about the past, and just this feeling like you're going to be alone forever. You might have that feeling, but that's not the way things are going to turn out for you. I don't think so at all. I think there's some magical moments ahead for you, very much. What do we get here? What else? So we have the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So the first thing is things didn't turn out the way you wanted to, obviously, and I feel like even though you come out on top, this was feeling like this dishonesty was really hurtful. And I feel like this Seven of Swords, I always read cards intuitively. I feel like this represents not only, we talked about the Magician and just the way they're trying to spin everything and make everything look good for them because they can't admit the truth. But I think this is a lot about what they said. You feel like it really took away a piece of you that is really difficult to, you know, words hurt. And I have a feeling that this is what this is about. But the Page of Pentacles, I think that they might be holding something over your head still to this day, or they might be trying to get their way with you in some way right now. You know, in this, even today, there's something, because I don't feel like this was too far off. And so there's something maybe of yours that they have, something of yours that you want, or there's something that they're trying to just entice you with. And I think that's what this is about. But the Seven of Swords is really kind of tied into that too. And it's, I think, saying just stay the F away from this person, cut them out, and move forward. So in your near future, you have the Ace of Swords. And I think this is you just starting out in, you know, lessons learned, and knowing that you are in your power. You are really ultimately the only one you need. And you're going to, you're just going to keep doing what you're doing, knowing that that sword is that one fundamental belief that you are the one that you have to depend on. You are the one that, you know, essentially is going to take care of you. And so that's this idea of I'm moving forward, I'm going forward. You maybe don't know what's going to happen, but you don't want to compromise again for somebody, and you're going to stick to your guns, and you're not going to just let somebody run amok in your life. And you have the Two of Wands in the near future, and this is you looking in the near future. This is you looking toward the future still. You're still looking further ahead in your life, and I feel like, you know, there's some things that have to come to completion, and there's an element of patience and waiting. But after this, I think the Tower is what you're worried about, but really this is just accepting that I need to just let go of some things, let them go away, let some things dissolve. Some of these things need to just come apart, clean house, so you can move forward gracefully. And quite honestly, this, whatever this person is holding over your head, it's going to be a real kick in the stones for them to see you just walk away. They feel like they have something over your head. I don't know what that is, but this, like I said, walk away, Six of Wands, victory, march. This is walking away proud, strong, determined, and victorious. So whatever it is, just keep doing you, keep doing what you're doing. The Four of Pentacles here on the bottom of the deck, that to me is you holding on to what is yours, what belongs to you, being somewhat guarded and protective. But it doesn't mean you're not willing to give again into a relationship. But I think in May, this is about you and still staying single. I don't think there's really anybody that comes in, but you know, I could be wrong. Let's see one last card. Three of Cups. So at the end of this, if you let this Tower, if you let these things just kind of clean house and kind of just happen, just go with it. You're going to walk away from this on so much higher ground than this person you've dealt with. This is going to definitely create some jealousy, because they're going to see you, you know, the Three of Cups. It's about celebration. It's about happiness, good times. It's all about the fun and enjoyment, and just letting loose and having that good feeling in life again. So I think that's going to be a sore spot for them. There's going to be some jealousy that they can't hold something over your head. They can't keep you from doing you. So we're going to pull one of these, and then we're going to end it, Capricorn. And let's see what comes out. See if we get a jumper first. Nah, if I have to shuffle too long, I might just pick one. Oh, come on. Give me one card for Capricorn out of here. Oh, this one here. Truth be told. Okay, so I talked about being truthful in the sense standing in your truth. You're dealing with somebody that couldn't be truthful. You know the truth, and it doesn't matter anymore. The truth just doesn't matter anymore, because you'll never get them to admit it. They're probably narcissistic, and they might be a little diabolical too. So just know that your truth is on point, and that's all that matters, and it doesn't need to be discussed. There might be some things that you hear that might have a little tinge of truth that are a little hard for you to hear, and that might be what this Tower is about, and accepting some things, your part in some things, and just realizing that is something that you know, acceptance is really the key to moving on. And I think that there is mostly the element of their inability to recognize the truth, to tell the truth, your ability to really know what the truth is, but also this element of having to accept some things that maybe you know, you probably could have been a little bit more open to. Maybe they were right about one or two things, but their one or two things they were right about is always a rebuttal to what they're doing wrong. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. So Capricorn, this is your reading. I hope you liked it. Leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know how things are playing out. And by all means, subscribe. I got general readings coming out soon for June. And so there's that to look forward to, plus many other things in the works. So I will talk to you later, Capricorn. Stay safe and stay healthy.